Michael Bisping will face Vitor Belfort this weekend. It's UFC on Fox, and I intend to break this fight down as it should be a pretty entertaining fight. The undercard isn't really shit. The main event is what it's all about. You know, this is a matchup where Michael Bisping is out there begging for Anderson Silva, and they're giving him this fight. And I think if he can beat Vitor Belfort, they're going to give him Anderson Silva. Because, you know, Vitor already had his fight with Anderson Silva, and we know how that turned out. It didn't turn out too good. And it would probably be one of Anderson Silva's most recent toughest fights, since he's been blazing through his opponents. Most recently, a destruction of Stephan Bonner, which we knew it would be a mismatch from the beginning. But in terms of Bisping versus Belfort, overall, you know, he still has some issues with big punchers. You know, let's remember the Dan Henderson fight. You know, knocked out in 2 rounds at UFC 100. So Bisping, you know, he has some problems with big punchers. He did take Vanderlei Silva's punch. He lost a decision, however, and that was a fight that was closely contested. But you know, Vanderlei Silva was far past his prime, and these are 2 losses that really catch my eye when I look at Michael Bisping. Other than that, he went on a string of victories. He's won 5 of his last 6. The only loss coming to Chael Sonnen in a 3-round decision loss. And, you know, Vitor Belfort has his own fair share of losses. That includes recently losing to John Jones by submission. Now, in terms of this fight, Vitor Belfort has the athleticism, he's got the punching power, he's got the explosiveness to knock out Michael Bisping. If someone's going to knock somebody out, I think Vitor Belfort is going to get that knockout victory. I think Bisping is good for his stamina. He's good for the later rounds. And you know what? I heard this was a 5-round fight. You know, if this is 5 rounds, my goodness, Vitor Belfort is going to have a tough time going into that, you know, 4th and 5th round, considering he's the kind of guy that sort of blows his steam in the 1st and 2nd rounds, you know? But overall, I think Bisping is better technically on his feet. And technically is one thing, but having explosive athleticism is a completely different animal. And that's what Vitor Belfort is. So, in terms of my prediction for this fight, I basically see this going 2 ways. One, if it gets past the 1st and 2nd rounds, I think Michael Bisping is going to have a big advantage because technically he's better, and stamina-wise, I think he's better as well. Well, Vitor Belfort, he's got a big chance to get a knockout early in the 1st or 2nd round, or a submission. You know, this guy's black belt jiu-jitsu. He's got a great submission game as well. The thing is, I'm not sure if he could take down Michael Bisping. You know, you also have to understand, Vitor Belfort seems to be coming down in weight. You know, he just went up to light heavyweight and he's coming back down. Making that weight cut takes a lot out of you, especially when you're coming from a higher weight. It's not easy. So this is why I can see Michael Bisping winning a decision. But from what I'm reading here, this fight is in Brazil. If this fight is in Brazil, Bisping has got to make it clear that he is winning this fight in the later rounds, and I think he'll do enough to do that. Even in Brazil, I like Michael Bisping to win a decision, a 5-round decision over Vitor Belfort. If it does not go the distance, I think Vitor Belfort will take the victory by knockout or stoppage. So overall, I like Vitor Belfort early, and I like Michael Bisping late. So it really depends on the story of the fight. Does Michael Bisping, you know, feel him out in the 1st round and really be cautious and sort of take him into deep waters. Because that's what you want to do against a Vitor Belfort, who even against John Jones almost stopped with an armbar. So he's always dangerous. Overall, I think at the end of the day, if it comes down to a decision, I think they're going to give it to Michael Bisping because he's really the next guy in line for Anderson Silva, who's really ran out of people to fight. Even George St. Pierre's running away from that fight. So they need someone to prop up and put against Silva. And this is the guy. I think Bisping is the guy that's going to get the shot. But he's got to go through Vitor Belfort. And that's a tough one. Overall, I tend to favor Vitor Belfort in this fight just because of his championship experience. He's beaten some of the best fighters in the world, and he's fought the best. And whereas Michael Bisping, who, when he steps up to face the elite competition, he tends to lose. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Vitor Belfort. It's a tough one, but I'm going with Belfort in this one. I think Bisping has the talent and the ability to win, and I think if it goes the distance, I think he will win. But I think in Brazil, maybe Vitor Belfort just has a little bit more in the tank. You know, he might bring it back. You know, when you're in your home turf, it's a completely different story. So I like Vitor Belfort in a close fight. I think he'll pull out a knockout. But if Bisping recovers, I do give him the edge if it goes to decision. That's how I like to fight. For me, it is what it is, guys. Peace out, take care.